Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and another episode of the Canary Room. I hope you're well. Huge thanks to everyone who commented on our Peter Harrison video. It's always a pleasure to spend time in the company of Peter and see his incredible zebra finches. And thank you to everyone who's commented on the sort of variety we've had on the channel over the last couple of weeks, couple of budgie shows. Obviously a little visit back to the Canary Room as well. So what have we got in store for you, not just today, but over the next few months? Well, the weather outside is frightful, I think the song goes. It's absolutely bucketing down here with rain. It is a miserable, horrible day. So what better place to spend it than the Canary Room? Over the next few weeks, I will be on my travels. So this weekend when the show goes out, I'll actually be in New York, judging there. Very much looking forward to that. First time in New York, so can't wait. I will be then up at the Scottish National, then over in Dublin and Cleveland, then back up into Scotland again, and that's just October. So I will be taking the camera with me on my travels, so we'll have a few shows in between. But today's focus is very much on the show team, the Spencer and Eld show team for the 2024 show season. So you know what to do, everyone. Grab yourself a cuppa, sit back, and as always, enjoy the show. Now, many of you who follow the channel on Facebook will have seen that I was over at Gerald's last week, taking the first of the sort of show team birds over there. Not everything has gone. In fact, well, I tell you what, let's hand over to me in the car. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're on the road again. We've been on the road an awful lot lately. You can see I've got shirts in the back of my car. I am taking a trip across the Pennines to go and see my partner, Mr. Spencer. But I am not alone, because in the car I have 20 birds. 20 birds which I feel are of show quality. There is clearly a range in there, but I think that they will hold their own on the show bench. There is, I think, 8 clear with, well, 7 clear and 1 tick bird, a couple of fawns, a couple of heavily variegated yellows, a couple of heavily variegated buffs, a heavily variegated yellow cockbird, a dark buff cock, and then 4 blues. So 20 birds I'm fetching over. You'll have seen in previous videos that we agreed that sort of Gerald would look after the show team. What might happen today is I bring some of the clear birds back and just to molt them through in my shed. I'll keep them molting through in my shed. So we'll see. I'm not taking the camera with me. I will take my phone with me. I will catch some footage. But today is really a sort of sort through and not a show. So it's the business side of things as opposed to the humorous side of things. So for now, signing off.
Nice, quite nice, that.
I don't mind admitting to each and every one of you that I was nervous about going over to Gerald's with the show team. You can sort of see, you know, Gerald studied them. You know, he's had a fantastic breeding season. It's been a good season in the Canary Room as well. But taking particularly the dark birds over, I was convinced with the quality of the clear birds, but the dark birds, to a man who has done incredibly well over the last sort of 3 decades, particularly with his darks, but with a range of colours. So I was absolutely delighted. I was delighted because, you know, I felt like I made my contribution to the partnership. We can see the birds in the cages here. Number of blues have stayed in the room, but what I guess I was most pleased with was that a number of dark birds have stayed there as well, so they will be in the show team for this year, which, you know, I think is nice, and it's what the partnership's about. It's about bringing strengths from both rooms, so very, very pleased with that. As I alluded to in the car, that the clears have come back here, and the reason the clears have come back here is we have slightly different lighting schedules. My birds are a little bit more finished than Gerald's. They're not 100% finished by any stretch of the imagination, but they're a little bit more finished. So I brought them back over here, and I will take them from here to the first show, and then at that point they'll probably remain in Gerald's shed. So been an interesting couple of weeks in the room. Some birds have now left for their new homes, and what that's enabled me to do rather is just clear a bit of space. And on this wall here in the Canary Room, I've got the clear birds that I think will make the show team. So there's a couple of buff cocks. I say a couple. Bird here, I'm not 100% certain with it. It's warbled a little bit, but it looks henny to me. And then there's a few more buff hens there. And on the next row down, there's a row of clears, a couple of clear yellow cocks, 3 clear yellow hens, which are looking nice. And then underneath this row here, there's another clear yellow cock, a clear buff, a clear yellow, and a few more different sort of odds and sods of birds, which have still got some way to go. So they won't make the early shows. Our first show's at the end of October. They won't make the early shows, but they will hopefully, you know, be able to be shown a little bit later on. I popped a little post on Facebook which drew quite a bit of attention as to sort of what I do when I'm sort of looking at birds from an evaluation perspective of, you know, what stock I'll retain, but also what stock I'll show. And I've been using one of these little green Italian cages which I got from Pet Source in the first instance. And the beauty with this cage is that it's covered on the sort of the back and 2 sides, so it enables the birds to sort of settle a little bit and not be too distracted by what's in the bird room. And that's important for the initial evaluation. What you want is a bird that shows itself in the show cage, and just above that I've got a show cage with another clear yellow cock bird in, which is showing itself quite nicely. But there's a couple of clear yellow cocks which sort of same father, different mothers, sort of similar stamp to them. Nice birds, nice and short birds, and they've got the sort of the type, that position and the break in the neck I'm looking for. So it's a while since I've showed a clear yellow cock. I did show a clear yellow hen last year, which is the mother to one of these birds. But it's a while since I've shown a clear yellow cock. In fact, it's a while since I've put a strong clear team out, and I'm hoping that will change within the partnership this year. So that's the sort of the training regime, if you like, and that training regime will continue. You can see at the moment, you can probably see I've got a little bit of top source tonic in there, and that's from Pet Source, and that sort of is something, in fact, you can see me feeding it in the cages now, and that's something I'm giving the birds a couple of times a week, just to keep them. They're nearly through the moult, but just to keep them going, to be honest with you. The trip was a wonderful trip. It always is. It was nice. I stayed over at Gerald's. Nice to sort of spend a chunk of time rather than a flying visit, evaluating the birds. As I say, some of them have still got some way to go, but you can see around the rooms, Gerald again is starting the show training in earnest. And what I really enjoyed, and you know, something I really need to do here was the staging in front of the windows, and it allowed me to put 20 birds up for Gerald to cast his eye over as well. But that was really important, and you know, I've spent a lot of time in a lot of bird rooms over the last few years doing this show, and that sort of ability to look at and stage and really, you know, look at the birds properly, I think is super important, and something that I don't quite have the benefit of. I have got a couple of shells that I can make up. One's out of the room at the moment, but a couple of shells that I can make up in the Canary room just to give the birds a little bit of show training. But of course, there's nothing like the actual shows themselves to really steady the birds down. I think it's my OCD, to be fair, but there are dark birds on the other side of the shed, so I've got the clear birds on one side and the dark birds on the other. I'm starting to make the plans for next breeding season already, more of that in future episodes. So I bought in a number of sort of lighter coloured flighted birds from Gerald, hens predominantly. There is one clear yellow cock that I bought in, a flighted bird. So really sort of cementing the line, moving forward. So yeah, good luck everybody on your show season if you're having one. I know our friends down under are just in the middle of the breeding season now, but we are very much on the start of the show season. So thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed the show, hit a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go on. No, appreciate all of your support, all of your subscriptions to the channel. I'll take the camera to New York. Hopefully it will be an enjoyable trip. I'm sure it will, and it will be coming on the channel very soon. Until next time everyone, take care.